Bakugo woke up with a serious headache. The past month had taken a huge toll on the hero-to-be, between worrying about Deku, who he still couldn't believe was able to overpower them both like that, repairing his relationship with Todoroki, and trying to keep on top of his schoolwork. He was exhausted and pushed beyond his limits. He opened his eyes just a bit to look at the clock on his nightstand. 10:10 a.m. He still had time before he had anywhere to be. He closed his eyes again, contemplating whether or not to get out of bed. It was early, but he needed to eat. His stomach rumbled at the thought of food. While he really didn't want to, he pushed himself into a sitting position. Shut. He stopped mid-sentence when he realized that his boyfriend was no longer snoring next to him like the night before. In fact, once he realized where he was, a cold chill went through his back. He was in his own room. But how? He had gone to sleep with Todoroki sleeping peacefully next to him in the other boy's room. Now he was alone in his own room, as if the night before never happened. There wasn't even a hint that the other boy slept next to him. He turned to look at the clock to see if maybe Todoroki had anywhere to be this early. It read 10:30 a.m. Bakugo got up from his bed and walked out to the hallway. It was way too quiet to be normal. Time seemed to be moving slowly, and all at once as Bakugo walked aimlessly through the dorms. Where was everyone? Wasn't it usually so much louder and, well, full of people? The eerie silence was killing him. Where the fuck are you guys? Bakugo called, slightly annoyed. No response. If this is some fucking prank, I don't think it's very fucking funny. The hallways were so quiet, you could hear a pin drop from across the dorms. When I find you guys, I swear to All Might, I'm gonna kill you all. The silence remained. With one last look around, he made his way to his boyfriend's room. The walk there didn't make the sick feeling in his gut go away. It seemed to grow the closer he got to Shoto's room. People's doors were wide open, revealing that no one was in their dorms. When he finally got to Todoroki's, he knocked fiercely on the door. Shoto, open the damn door. Silence. Fear and anger took over the blind as he kicked the door open. The room, like he feared, was empty. Where are you? He screamed, running into the hallway, looking around, trying to understand what exactly was happening. He ran all the way downstairs into the common room. Nothing. As he made his way to the front door, determined to get answers, he spotted a large box out the corner of his eye, and as he got closer to inspect it, he noticed his name written across the box in a hauntingly familiar chicken scratch. He walked over, his stomach churning as he approached it. Picking it up, he walked back to the couches in the common room, placing it on the ground, sitting it right in front of him. He slowly revealed it. Bleh! He slowly removed the lid to reveal a mess of red and white at the bottom. His heart sank as all the color drained from his face. Shaking hands reached in to pull out the severed head of Shoto Todoroki. His boyfriend's severed head was in his hands. He felt grief start to wrap his disgusting hands around his throat as he looked into the cloudy, heterochromic eyes that stared unblinking back into wet and teary red ones. Shoto, no, please, no, he rasped, voice barely above a whisper. Tears streamed down his face as he continued to look at what remained of his lover. Why? He hiccuped. First Deku and now you? A wail made its way past trembling lips. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone, he repeated over and over again as he clutched the head to his chest. What's wrong, Kachan? A voice inquired from in front of him. Kachan doesn't like his gift? The blonde's head snapped up in hope when he realized it was Deku that was speaking, until his brain finally pieced together what he heard and was seeing. His gaze slowly followed the sight laid out before him, eager to take it all in, but scared of what he'll find. Long legs he spent hours kissing and worshipping was encased in their beautiful signature red sneakers crossed over one another in that familiar pose he'd seen hundreds of times before. Deku sat before him looking like a freaking wet dream come true. The all-might sweater he always wore to bed covered broad shoulders and barely covered thick thighs, but as his gaze finally made it to Deku's face, his joy at seeing his other boyfriend quickly turned to horror when he realized what was being cradled in those arms. The rest of Todoroki. Bakugo backed up as much as possible, almost toppling the couch over in his haste to get away, dropping the head that he was holding tightly in his arms. The green-haired boy cocked his head to the side in all Fox innocence. "I thought Kachan missed me. I even got you a present. Don't you like it?" Midoriya said as he pointed to the head that Katsuki dropped in his haste to get away. He slowly got off the couch and laid Todoroki's body down, caressing the corpse lovingly before he slowly approached Bakugo. "No! Stay the fuck away from me, you little shit!" The words felt like ash in his mouth. The boy in front of him plopped himself down in Bakugo's lap before leaning in close, the moment eerily similar to the morning spent with Deku teasing Bakugo about how he never let them leave the bed without one cuddle session between all three, and Todoroki laying next to the blonde so Deku could steal kisses from them both from his perch. The blonde tried to blow away the crazy lunatic that was supposed to be his boyfriend, but to no avail, as his quirk refused to work. He tried to fight off Deku, but in his panic and grief-driven state, he was sloppy and no match for the smirking boy holding him down. With one forearm pressed to Bakugo's windpipe, Deku reached behind him to pull out a knife. "Oh, Kachan, you should have known it'll always ended like this. Weak people can't protect the one they've always claimed to love." Before he knew it, that same blade was plunged where Deku's forearm was just resting. Bakugo choked on the scream he tried to push out past the agony he was feeling. "Katsuki!" he could hear faintly. Someone calling his name. But from where? "Please," he begged to whoever the fuck was listening. "Please don't let it end like this. Katsuki, wake up!" Just then, Bakugo's eyes flew open and he shot up out of bed. He grasped his chest, fighting to get air into his lungs. A dream? Was it a dream? Oh, thank God. "Suki, are you alright?" It took almost 5 minutes of me shaking you to get a response. His head snapped to the side to meet a pair of worried gray and blue eyes. He wrapped his arms around him so fast they almost toppled off the bed, but he couldn't care less. Shoto was here. "So," he said, burying his nose into Todoroki's shoulder. "I want to talk about it," Todoroki asked, wrapping his hand around the blonde. Bakugo suddenly stiffened in his arms. "Fuck, I had a fucking nightmare about you and Deku." Todoroki kept quiet, but tightened his arms around him to let him know he was listening. So he continued. "It was quiet, like no one was there. But then there was this box. He said it was for me, so I opened it." Bakugo took a deep breath. "It was your head inside the box. Your head. He killed you and then gave you to me. When he saw I didn't like the gift, he gritted his teeth and admitted that part scared him the most. He told me that I wasn't strong enough to protect you both. Then he killed me." He felt Todoroki's grip tighten on him as wet drops hit his neck. Was he crying? Shit. Bakugo startled. Todoroki rarely cursed. "I'm so sorry to face that. I'm sorry that we're going through this. None of this should be happening," Todoroki said in a wavering voice. Bakugo shot back so he could cup the dual-haired boy's face. His heart broke at the sight of Todoroki crying. "Stop that," he said, as he wiped tears away from his face. There wasn't anything you could have done to prevent the nightmare from happening, and there wasn't shit we could have done to prevent the nerve from being taken. All we can do is plan to get our boy back, and I don't give a shit whether we have to do it kicking and screaming. We will get him back, so don't start beating yourself over it." Bakugo gave him a stern look before he buried his face in his chest. "Now let's go back to sleep. Peacefully." He added that last part to calm the last few jittery nerves in his body. Todoroki gave him a soft smile before laying them both down and drifting off to sleep.